Hey guys, John here with Kelly. What we're gonna do here today is show you 3 basic movement patterns, activation patterns that are gonna help you get your hips, literally get your ass in gear with especially focused towards the kettlebell swing. But this can be anything athletic where we wanna get what we often have is these sleepy glutes, especially aging athletes that sit at a desk all day. You know, their body is their glutes are shut off, they're sitting, they're here. So we want to literally take those hips and open them up and get as much bang for our buck to get them active and part of the process of moving weight. As far as, you know, you can think of an Olympic lift, like if I'm going into full triple extension, this is the position we're talking about. Instead of being stuck here, yes, there's a time and place where maybe an athlete is not going to go into full triple extension. There's some, you know, talk and debate on that, but I want to be as natural reflexive where we're not inhibited there. And this is going to be a health benefit overall as well. Not only performance, if we can get a double bang for our buck, we almost can't do too much of these patterns. And then you're probably gonna find you may need a lot less of them over time. And there may be, I'll show you kind of one at the end, that'll be the one thing that you can do that will activate things just on the spot or even between sets. We call that splicing. We can splice them in that way. And some of you may need more work than others. Our events, like anything in our Scottish Highland Games, they're all working towards that hip extension. I see it all the time in weight over bar where people, you know, on their swings, they're just literally half-assing and they're going here to the finish. There's so much benefit, so much to getting the glutes fully involved, the hips fully open. So that's what we're talking about here. That's what we're working on. And you'll see how these patterns make sense. So our first one we're gonna do is it's more of an active stretch, if we want to call it that. We're going to go into this half kneeling position. So we're going to get each hip to get more mobilized, because a lot of time you'll have one stickier hip, especially if you're like me or like Kelly actually too. We have hips that get a little bit rotated, partly from, you know, throwing life, whatever. I have a little bit of scoliosis. So, you know, we want to work them towards being more even, more equally active here. So let's get her in this half kneeling position. Some key points here. We want to make sure we're maintaining. Let's scoot you over a little bit here. Let's scoot you back this way. So you see this side hip here. She's going to have what we're doing here is getting more core engagement, and you can really feel this. When you just try this, you'll get it right away. And we're going to use a little bit more of this high tension, this hard style breathing, if we want to call it that too. So she's going to be pushing down into this. Find a grip where if she had to do something smashed underneath there, she's putting like, you know, 8 out of 10 effort, something she can sustain for like 5-second little pulses. And she's going to make sure her hips are first of all in this neutral. We're going to turn you a little bit here. So it helps to have a coach there. She's wanting to fight me on this too, but I want to see that she's neutral with her hips. If we were able to look from the back here, I want to make her move here. We don't want this hip to be higher or lower. We want the hips equally pushed in there. We're going to start from a somewhat relaxed position. She's going to go here, and then as she starts to activate, we're going to do this over like a 5-second period, and she's going to breathe like that compression breathing, that heart, we call that the hard style breathing. Tongue goes to the roof of the mouth, and we're going to kind of that hissing air coming out of a pressurized tire. Really important there. So she's going to squeeze her glutes. She's going to get more ab activation by pushing down to this, but she's still going to actively think about this, and she's going to keep her head up tall. So we're going to do this in pulses. Right now we're just going to, for demo, we're going to do one round of each for 5 seconds. That's still a good hold time. Again, she can do a 6, 7, 8 out of 10 effort for about 5 seconds. It's going to be very fatiguing. We're going to get a lot of activation here, but we could do this 2-3 times depending on the person. A couple times at least is going to be more effective than just doing 1 5-second all out kind of effort, just like most things in life. So let's get this going here. So she's going to slowly ramp this up, squeeze, extend, get as tall as she can, like a book on her head. She's going to get even taller, push down to that, take a break. We're going to switch sides again for just a time. Normally we'd go a couple reps on each side. So this, you know, this whole part one takes about a minute to do or so. Push that down. We do straight arms, by the way, because that's going to get more core activation here, and we're going to get a lot of lats, and lats are very much tied in with this whole core area too. So she's bringing it forward a little bit. If she just thinks about getting tall and lengthening everything here too from here and pushing that knee, Last little bit too, if she drives this foot in here, she's really actually pulling her foot back. It's not gonna move, but it's isometrically getting pulled down and in, like she's stomping and pulling, driving that foot like this way, okay? And then her other knee is gonna be basically like scissoring that, smashing that. So that's getting total body tension. There's nowhere for it to hide. This thing has to go. If she squeezes her glutes, this is gonna get extended. Her abs are on, and she's gonna kind of feel like she's crunched in a little bit, but she's gonna get as tall as she can possibly be. Again, straight arms, couple reps with that, and you'll really feel the difference. You can even try your kettlebell string, try to see if you can get more activation. Just test and retest that between rounds just to kind of validate how that works for you. Getting kind of interest of time, we're gonna move along here. Next one we're gonna do is a bridge. And by the way, I would do these in this order generally. There's a method to the madness with getting things kind of more simple to complex, or more of a hold and static movement to a more dynamic. And you see this looks more like what we're doing with our actual hinge position here. So we're gonna have her go with this block here. She can pinch it in here. Depending on the person, whatever gives you the most contraction, you can turn it this way if you'd like. This is probably gonna be too wide, but she's fine there. You can use a pair of shoes, by the way, as a quick and dirty way. So pinch this in there, pinch it. So that's how tight. Don't let me take it away. She's gonna bring her legs, feet out a little bit more here. Gonna find kind of this like 90-degree position. She's gonna squeeze this hard, dig her heels in. She can go toes up if she wants to a little bit to make sure and emphasize this posterior chain here. So we're getting all that lit up and squeezing hard, and we're opening this space and squeezing the abs as well. So again, hard style breath, we're gonna go or for 5 seconds. Feels a little silly at first. Hold, and if you have a super friend buddy with you, you can really challenge that. We wanna keep her energy, by the way, down from getting in her head and scrunching up her face. She wants to try to channel all that breath and tension in there. So I like about 5 sets of 5 with these. So you want to be pretty fatigued when you really get this active here. So let's go 5 reps for 5-second holds. And again, probably a 6-7 effort is fine with this. You don't have to go 10 out of 10. Just control, feel those muscles light up, feel this open up. So light up the back half, feel everything working here. Glutes on, abs on, tight. Yep. Squeeze. Both of these ASIS, bony prominences, coming up and squeezing hard. Again, abs there, and everything's just tight, stiff as a board here. Okay. Again, we'll just do a few for interest of time. Last one here is very simple but effective, and often done poorly too. We see somebody who can technically hold a neutral plank position. That's great. We're gonna get so much more activation. We're gonna literally be taller, longer, and it's a huge bang. This is the one I was talking about, is the one, if you did one, surprisingly, just by getting that, for most people, they get a ton of activation and get this top dead center, this neutral, tall position for, again, say our kettlebell swing. We'll demonstrate a little bit at the end, so show you kind of like what it would look like the before and after to do that, and why, again, this kind of stuff for a lot of people is going to make it way more effective than just cueing. A lot of people are just have so much stiffness there, and this gluteal amnesia, this lack of awareness, this weakness here. So this is starting us along that process and giving us a supercharged way to connect with those muscles. So as a coach or as a student, someone doing this, you don't have to just try harder. And what a lot of people do when they do that, they squeeze their glutes and they'll go here, or their knees will stay bent, and then we're just still not going to get that lockout here too. So we're going to push down, get tall, and lock that up. Again, we want to show you this last one here quick, and you'll see how this starts to look like our kettlebell swing too. So we're going to put those elbows, we're going to go up a little higher up here, and she's going to really try to pull her elbows in this way as her feet. We can go feet together. We could actually be a little bit far. Yeah, you're fine there. This is more of our true top dead, position. If we took her horizontally and just brought her up vertically, she'd be tall and long, again, from the bottom of her feet to the top of her head. So let's have her go up and hold. Let's do one little 5-second hold. Squeeze. She's taking the elbows into the feet and basically folding like this if she was able to pull herself in, and you'll see that total body tension. I'll show you the final test to show if you have total super abs and full contraction here. Here's the little spot test. You can go up and test somebody and see if they're really getting everything on. The glutes on, abs on, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be able to lift her up. She's that tight here. Neck is neutral. Again, tall, but in this lengthened position. She's gonna take a break, stand up here when she's ready. But I'm not doing this. And then she's gonna shake this out. Breaths, fast and loose stuff. So full tension, it's a lot of work. And again, playing around with those sets and reps. I don't want this whole thing to take more than a couple minutes, but if you're really a desk jockey, you're sitting here and you're half-assing your swings here, we need to get this going so we're able to get this contraction. We say zipped up, we're getting tall, pushing down through the ground with our swing. We're lengthening here, abs on, glutes on, going through this whole checklist, and then there's also connection with the lats and our grip here too. But let's show you the demo of what that often looks like before and after, kind of in this fast track. We're gonna show you from the side, this half-ass swing. So identify yourself if you're a half-ass swing person, and if you're not feeling your glutes in each rep, I would say glutes, quads, and abs. If you're not feeling that in each contraction, each time you come up, you are probably a half-ass swing person. You're not going to feel it maybe as much with the other Highland Games events or with a barbell. If I'm going up, I'm not going to expect you to identify with those muscles as much. The swing allows me to do that. I don't think it is as much with a kettlebell snatch or a clean. The swing's just a sweet spot. Two-hand swing's a way to do it. Get this going with your swing, and this could even be a series, an addition to the series before you go and throw or do your lifts too. So this would be the fourth element here, potentially, for this whole sequence. So let's do, again, half-ass swing. It's hard for us to do and we don't practice this a lot, but I want to see if we can get Kelly like really get that's really missing the boat, or a lot of this arm movement and this arching the back, that kind of thing, or arch. Yep, that's the common things, and you're just not going to feel it in those areas. So the correct way, and the again, the final product of this whole setup here is going to look in this pure hardstyle strength. She's going to get as tall as she can. Arms are going to be out here, and we can practice this too. So she wants to feel some lats. She's got that just enough firm, solid grip, but able to kind of pulse into that. Her abs are on. I can test her here. Glutes are on. She's zipped up. She's solid, like the kneecaps are zipped up. Quads, finding her neutral position, and she's pushing down hard through the ground. And I can even give her a little bit of feedback here, either direction, and make sure she's on and able to breathe with that too. If she's just that way, is not going to work so well. It's just as she comes up at the top, and that hardstyle breath is going to help finish that. Just like as throwers, you'll hear that throwers yell. Not so much with Olympic lifters usually, but when we're fully letting that go, that's a way to supercharge that, to get a little bit more juice out of that too. So again, let's see what that last little final product looks like with a full swing. Full extension, everything's zipped up there. Nice solid line.